good friend and member of my gaming group. He's here to talk about board games from the perspective of a fairly hardcore video gamer. Shane, welcome.
Thank you very much, Liam.
You're welcome. Now, can you tell me a little bit about your taste in video games?
Eclectic, I guess is the right way to put it. Like, it goes from, action games, shooter games, to adventure games, to your RPGs. Anything that's just, I find, fun.
Because we've been playing a bit more seriously in terms of board games, a bit more regularly with a group of 3 to 4 players. Do you find that your board game interests, maybe like something like Dune, matches some of your video game interests?
I mean, yes and no. I feel like that, Dune to be specific, like there's that deck building element that I find I enjoy in a lot of, video games, but is that video games drawing from board games, or is that board games drawing from video games? Who knows exactly, but I just still find that kind of element fun. The whole deck building and making sure you're kind of like making yourself stronger and stronger and stronger in a sense of like feeling progression in the game.
I think it all comes down from the Dominion, but I guess it also that element of like trying different strategies and sort of either going on this or you be flexible, that sort of.
Yeah, or you just find that, there is that one card, the village, and you just keep getting villages. I guess that comes from a little bit of video games where I'm just like, you do try a lot of those different strategies until you find that, right, that's the one thing I can do, and I can just one-hit the final boss. Cool.
Like as actions lead to more actions, lead to more actions, yeah.
Yeah, and, stunning the enemy, they don't get any actions, right? Yeah.
I mean, I think the one time I really like, this is definitely coming from a video game background, is playing Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. We're only started the campaign, 4 missions in. You're playing the Red Guard, who's a tank, and you just did like an AoE effect, and I'm like, that's something you would do if you were tanking in a video game.
Well, I kind of actually knew the concept of the game in the sense of, okay, I'm already the tank because I'm playing the Red Guard, right? And, it's actually based on movement and how close you are to the enemy, which is aggro. So I was moving in going, okay, I'll draw aggro because these guys behind me are weak because, they deal a little bit of damage, but I'm just going to walk in and deal most damage anyway because that's what a good tank should do. They should deal damage. Yes.
So we're looking forward to continuing our Gloomhaven campaign. Next up is the boss, the first little boss in the final mission in the tutorial sort of 5 things, and we're looking to sort of keep playing, and it's pretty exciting. Can you tell me a little bit about other games you've been enjoying as you sort of forayed into board games? I
mean, there's all those like small just party games that is always just that little bit of fun. Like, what was the one, the small circle ones that I play blindly? Skulls. I love that game because I can just play it blindly and it actually sometimes works out. Not all the time, but that's just like, playing with a dicing roll, I'm just RNG. But like, you go from that to like, Clank, that's still a little bit of card building. Get Dune, that's still more card building. Maybe it is the card building that I do enjoy. So
the deck, and we've obviously got a lot of Dominion in our group of friends. So do you feel that's something, a mechanic or a sort of a style of game that you really enjoy?
I think deck building is definitely something that I found leaning in towards more and more, but I've always kind of gone, okay, there's still some other outliers there that I'm kind of enjoy. Like I haven't fully dabbled into D&D, but I've, played those kind of games in video games and stuff like that, and I've always enjoyed that kind of style. I do want to kind of maybe get a little bit more into that and try that a little bit more. I have tried it once, as some people may know. But just getting a little bit deeper into that and deeper into, I don't know, some other board games that I feel like I've looked at and gone, I could enjoy that, but I just haven't really had the time to. But like,
so are you looking? Because the way we're playing Gloomhaven is a lot of times we're not even reading the sort of flavor text or the story missions. But do you want to sort of sink your teeth into a sort of a really story-driven game, or is it that the game can generate stories like how you play Skull?
I think games can generate story that draws you in as a player. That I feel like that's where I get into like maybe I think the thing about Gloomhaven is I still feel I'm playing somebody else. I'm not playing myself in a sense. There's that you are playing the Red Guard. You're not playing the character you made. I think that's where I'm a little bit maybe disjointed from Gloomhaven's story itself. That said, I feel like, there's still kind of fun stories. We can just talk about like, how, exactly I've walked in and just dealt the most damage and you guys are going, oh yeah, Shane could go over there and do that while we pick up the coins and, oh, there's a chest over there. Yeah, no. Shane can walk in and grab aggro.
Well, I mean, I think what we found is, because I played it I played two-handed solo. I haven't finished it. I'm halfway through the campaign. And I was sort of not, like I would grab loot, but I wasn't too, if I grabbed it, I grabbed it. But then when we started playing as a group, I was surprised at how much any coin, 3 players are scrambling to try and grab it as soon as it sort of, you kill an enemy and it spawns.
And then you get to, we're like about to be exhausted because we were trying to get that coin. We could have, won the mission and, killed that last enemy. Nah, coins are good.
The thing about board games with our group, so we've got myself and I have a board game, a board game playing hobby and also a board game collecting hobby. And I'm trying to sort of curate my collection, but I am doing that by buying a lot of board games. And then you've got Prospect, who's also playing quite a few, has a collection of board games. Between the two of us, we've got a lot of board games. Do you feel the need to own board games, or is it just good enough that you have friends who you can play them?
Okay, so I feel slightly guilty. Maybe that's the right word. It's just more that I'm walking in and playing all your guys' games and having not the most fun, but having a lot of fun with your guys' prized items. I don't feel the need to, in my sense of just like that's a cool looking box and board game. I shouldn't need to own that. I feel like I haven't really spread out to other groups to be able to really do that at the moment. I feel like that could be my flaw in the sense of I haven't found anyone to actually be able to play with except for you guys. So I'm like, you guys already have the board games. So I don't really need to bring it, I think. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I think not in the need. And there's this weird thing of like, I'm still all right with like virtual games and like, even just the socialization of virtual games and stuff like that. I don't always need the person-to-person contact, but that does give it a different kind of element to it. And I feel like at the moment, I bring nothing to the table if I'm bringing more games. More things that we have to decide on.
Yeah, well, I think we probably already have like a lot of games that need to get played anyway. So I don't think you just. I think you can definitely be someone who's very keen on board games and not own any.
Yeah.
Because a lot of other people, like myself, own too many games anyway. And I think the collecting is definitely a different side of the hobby.
Yeah.
That's part of the same hobby, but not necessarily always the same.
Yeah, I mean, like that's still in video games. There's like video game collectors and so on and so forth. And I've never really been into that. I've maybe got 2 or 3 collector's editions that I might have in the back of my cupboard somewhere, but they're definitely not on display.
But how many unplayed games do you have in your Steam library?
So I've got about, I think, 2,500 and something Steam games in my Steam library, and I think I played about maybe 100 of them. So yeah, plenty.
Yeah, so now I feel a little bit better about my pile of shame for board games.